Welcome to Guide Mia. Today we're going to talk about customizing your lab's intake form. This one is for lab managers who have finished onboarding and now want clinics to submit cases through their own order form, the form your customers already know, rather than the default Guide Mia intakes. By the end you'll know how to add a custom service to your lab, upload your existing PDF order form, let the AI turn it into a structured web form, preview exactly what clinics will see, and decide when a custom form beats the native template. Budget about 10 minutes per service the first time, and about 2 minutes per service once you've done one. Follow along on screen, or listen now and read the written guide later. Let's start with what you're actually building. When a service has no form attached, a clinician submitting a case just sees a general instructions field, a blank text area. Perfectly workable, but everything your paper form used to guarantee now depends on the doctor remembering to mention it. When you attach a custom form, 3 things replace that blank box: your form's actual questions, rendered as a structured web form, an example order showing what realistic filled-in values look like, and an expected files checklist that ticks off, row by row, as the clinician uploads matching files. And note the scope: the custom intake form is per service, not per lab. If you offer 5 services and each has its own order form, you'll upload 5 forms, one against each service. Do the first one with me now, and the other 4 will take 2 minutes each. 2 prerequisites. First, your lab's onboarding has to be complete. Check the My Lab page. If you see a red dot and an Onboard My Lab button in the top right, finish the onboarding wizard first. There's a separate lecture in this series for that. Second, the order form itself, as a PDF, and here's the requirement people miss: it must be a typed, text-based PDF. The extraction reads the text inside the file, there is no image path. A scan of a paper form, or a photo, will come out empty or garbled. If a scan is all you have, open the original in your word processor and re-export it as a text PDF before you start. 10 minutes of preparation here saves 3 failed extraction attempts later. Step 1. Find where services live. Sign into app.cympha.com and click My Lab in the sidebar. The page stacks 3 cards down the screen: lab info at the top, name, address, phone, introduction, then services, which is where we'll spend this whole lecture, and payment options at the bottom. Scroll to the services card. Your existing services list in a table with columns for the service, pricing, order form, and a small actions column on the right. One orientation note: because it genuinely confuses people, services are managed here, on the My Lab page. The My Team page is for team member approvals, and it deliberately has no services tab, even though both pages belong to the lab manager. If you're hunting for the form upload on the team page, you're on the wrong page. Step 2. Add the service itself. At the top of the services card there's an Add Service row with 2 inputs. The category field is free text with a built-in drop-down of suggestions: clear aligners, crown and bridge, implant prosthetics, dentures, night guards, retainers, veneers, inlays and onlays, surgical guides, study models, digital smile design, impression trays, bleaching trays, sleep apnea appliances, and more. If none of those match what you sell, just type your own, say, wax up for aesthetic mock-up. The price, in US dollars, is optional. Leave it blank and clinics see contact for pricing instead of a number. Click Add, and the new row appears in the table with no order form attached yet. And remember the rule from onboarding: a service's name and price are fixed at creation. To change either, you delete the service and add it again, so type carefully now. Step 3. The upload. In the order form column on your new row, click Upload Form. A file picker opens. Choose your PDF. Here's a detail worth knowing, because people ask about it: the text is read out of the file right in your browser. The PDF itself never leaves your machine, only its extracted text is stored, and only when you click Save. Nothing at all is stored before that. After you pick the file, a text area appears showing the raw text the browser read off it. Actually read it. This raw text is what the AI will work from in the next step, so if it's empty, or garbled, or has your questions in a strange order, stop here and fix the source file before going further. When the text reads like your form, click Save below the text area, which stores that raw text against the service. Then look next to the Upload Form button, where a second button has been waiting: Extract Fields. That's the one that turns your form into an actual web form for clinicians, and it's the interesting part. Step 4 is the payoff. Click Extract Fields. A single AI pass runs over the saved text and returns 3 things at once. First, the form fields, 1 entry per question on your form, each with a label, a field type, text, number, yes, no, a choice list, or a long text area, a required flag, any choices it inferred, and the section heading it sat under on the paper form. Sections are kept and rendered as group blocks. Second, an example order, a populated sample showing what filled-in values look like, which appears as a reference block when a clinician submits. Third, an expected files checklist, the files your form implies the doctor should attach: upper arch scan, lower arch scan, bite registration, photos. Each becomes a row that ticks off as the clinician uploads a matching file. When the pass finishes, the row updates. The order form column shows a check badge, a fixed marker, not your file's name, and how many fields were extracted. Before you call it done, look at it through a doctor's eyes. Click the preview button, the eye icon, on the service row. A dialog opens titled Service Preview with your service name, and inside are two sections: the form fields, rendered exactly as the clinician will see them but disabled so you can read without typing, and the expected files checklist, which is editable from this same dialog. Walk the form as if you were a doctor submitting their first case to you, and ask one question: is the field order natural? If the fields came out jumbled compared to your paper form, the extraction got it wrong. The next slide covers fixing that. Don't worry about language, the fields keep your form's original language, and Cympha translates the labels automatically when a doctor switches the form language. And notice that patient name, date of birth, delivery date, and similar questions are deliberately stripped from the rendered form. Cympha already collects those as standard case fields, so the doctor isn't asked twice. When you've walked it, close the preview and we'll deal with anything that came out wrong. If the extraction was off, you have two moves. The full redo is re-extract fields on the service row. If the service already has cases, a confirmation dialog appears asking, replace extracted fields? And the reassurance in it matters: the existing cases saved data is safe and won't change, only the field template and the example order are updated, and only for future cases. Click re-extract anyway to confirm. Often, though, the real fix is upstream. Replace the PDF with a cleaner export. Once a form exists, the upload button reads replace instead of upload form, and then re-extract from the new file. Now, one design decision to be aware of: there is no per field editor for the form fields. If one field came out wrong, you don't tweak it in place, you fix the source PDF and re-extract. And if you want to start over completely, the trash icon at the end of the service row deletes the service so you can add a fresh one. But hold that thought until the end of this lecture, because deletion has a sharp edge we need to talk about. The expected files checklist, by contrast, is the exact opposite of the form fields. That one is fully hand editable, and it's our next step. The expected files section inside the preview dialog is yours to edit directly. Each row carries four things: the name the clinician sees, like upper arch scan, a required toggle, mandatory versus optional, a short description line, like full arch intraoral scan, and the accepted extensions, comma separated with leading dots, for example .stl, .ply, .obj. Use add file slot to add rows, remove the ones the extraction suggested that you don't actually need, and click Save Expected Files. Two things to know about the save: it replaces the whole list, and the new checklist appears on the submission page for the very next clinician who picks this service. A good target here is the 4 or 5 core files your designers genuinely need to start work, not every file that might conceivably exist. Last control, visibility. A new service starts active, clinics see it on the new case page immediately. In the Actions column, active rows carry a power icon, Deactivate, which hides the service from new submissions while keeping every existing case intact, and inactive rows carry a lightning icon to reactivate. Use deactivation for the temporary situations, out of materials, staff sick, rather than deleting and losing the configuration. Because deletion is the sharp knife here, and it's worth hearing clearly, deleting a service removes it outright even when live cases still reference it. Nothing blocks the deletion. The row shows a case count badge, so check it before you click the trash icon, and if the number isn't 0, deactivate instead. If you do delete by mistake, you can add the service back under the same name and re-extract from your form, but the original configuration is gone. Before we talk about when to use all this, here's the target to aim at: what a well-configured service actually looks like when you're done. It has a sensible name, either straight from the drop-down or a custom one that matches what your customers already ask you for. It has a clean form of 5 to 15 fields. Past about 20, the doctor starts to feel like they're filing a tax return, and submissions get sloppier, not better. It has an example order block that shows realistic values, so a first-time customer can see what a good answer looks like rather than guessing. It has a suggested files checklist carrying the 4 or 5 core files your designers genuinely need. And the test that ties all of those together: the clinician fills it in 2 minutes flat and uploads files your designers can work from without a single follow-up message. If your first service misses that mark, the fix is almost always fewer fields and a better example order, not more instructions. So when do you use which? Every new lab starts with the 3 Guide Mia native services already attached and active: orthodontic planning, AlignerBot planning, and implant guide planning. Stay with those when you offer a standard ortho or implant service that the Guide Mia extractor already understands, when you want structured fields the doctor completes in minutes, and when you're new to Cympha and want to ship fast. Reach for a custom service when you have an existing paper or PDF form your customers already know and trust. When your service is non-standard, sleep apnea appliances, custom prostheses, and the native categories don't fit, or when you charge a fixed per case price you want shown explicitly at submission. And you can mix freely. The native services stay on the menu alongside your custom ones unless you deactivate them. If you want clinics to see only your own services, deactivate the native ones you don't offer. Here's what all of this looks like from the clinician's chair. They search for your lab by name or by your manager email, and the service picker shows a tile for every active service you've published, the name, plus either the price you set or contact for pricing. When they click your tile, the patient information block stays standard, name, gender, date of birth, complaints, but the treatment parameters block reshapes into your extracted fields, with your example order sitting on top as a reference. The Files section grows your suggested files checklist, and the Pricing and Terms block at the bottom shows your price with a consent checkbox. One freedom the doctor keeps: they can still type free text into the treatment parameters instead of using your structured form. Unlike the AlignerBot intake, there's no structured file requirement here, and your designers read whichever the doctor wrote. 4 common snags. Extract fields return junk. It's nearly always the source PDF, either a scan or photo, which has no text to read, or a very dense multi-column layout the extraction can't linearize. Re-export a clean, typed PDF and try again. The fields look right but the labels are in the wrong language. That's actually fine. The extractor keeps the source language, and Cympha translates the field labels automatically when a doctor switches the form language in the app. You don't need to upload a translated form. A clinician submitted a case and the form came out blank. They probably submitted in general instructions mode, which is what shows when a service has no template. Check that the row really says fields extracted, and rerun the extraction if it doesn't. And if you want different prices for different complexities, leave the service price blank so clinics see contact for pricing, then pricing happens on the case itself. Once you triage, you enter its price, and the clinician approves it before being charged. And that's your intake form, from a PDF on your desk to a structured web form with an example order and a file checklist, in about 10 minutes. Do it once for your busiest service, walk the preview as if you were a doctor, and then roll it out to the rest. You'll be down to 2 minutes a service. Related lectures in this series: lab onboarding if you're not fully set up yet, team and roles for staffing, and assigning cases to designers for what happens once these forms start bringing the work in. The written version of this walkthrough, every button name, every gotcha, lives at cympha.com. Open the Docs section and find Customize Your Lab's Intake Form. If you're finding the series useful, subscribe. We're walking through every Cympha workflow, one lecture at a time. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.